You are live, my friend.
All right, which means you're live
I'm live. We're live together.
together, but they can only see me.
Together forever.
Ah, yeah, that's the sound of our theme song.
Oh man, let's see here. Music's not too loud, is it? Wasn't too loud yesterday.
Okay, yeah,
Sounded
it's
good.
just a state of mind.
Thursday, man. Thursday. Throwback Thursday. Throwback.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Throwback Thursday because, spring training. Kind of appropriate, isn't it? Throwback?
throw back the ball after you strike somebody out.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm trying to get to our show. It says reach a new milestone. How many likes do we have? We have 973. That elusive 1,000 likes. Hey, it looks like we have somebody watching right now. This is the part of the show where Jayson, who is usually in the front, starts sharing stuff, and then I start sharing stuff, and together we get this out to all of our little channels. So if you're watching this now, that means you probably watched it from our specific channel, 22 Minutes with Jayson and Stefan, which is good because then you can write a comment, and when you write a comment on there, we can actually read it.
And that was pretty good, man, because I'm probably the one watching it.
Oh, probably you. Did you like that? How'd I do? Good practice. Remember when he first started? I said, "Wow, somebody's already watching it, man.
I know.
Somebody's really got nothing better to do." Yeah, right? Someone literally has nothing better to do than watch it to share.
Yeah.
All right.
Join us. For...
Did you like the little cartoon stuff I was putting out there?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Keep it up. We're here to entertain. Entertain.
Yeah. Yes. Ask your realtor. If you're just tuning in, or if you're watching the replay on the Facebook Live, you can fast forward this part and get to the meat of it, or you can just hang out and watch me banter on about stuff as I start sharing. I see, for example, the house that you're seeing there is actually going to be our Feature Friday house tomorrow. So if you want to feature your house on our show, all you have to do is give me your listing, and I will put it on there. And then every day for a week, your house is being part of the pre-show, and then on a Friday we'll talk specifically about your house to all of our viewers.
That's all you got to do. That's it.
That's all.
You staying cool out there? It's pretty hot here in Arizona. East Coast is getting pummeled with snow, and here we are putting on suntan lotion.
90 degrees, man. Getting a siesta. Eating a burrito, getting a siesta. Drinking some margaritas. Those questions and answers revealed. You're welcome. All right.
We're doing good. This is a beautiful house for everybody's entertainment till we get things going here.
Yeah, we had a lot of showings last night for this house. This house has been on the market for less than a week. Well, I think a week today. And then it's on 175. But if we don't have an offer today in our hand, we're going to lower it today. So it's 175, and as you can tell through the slideshow, we have a pool. We have a nice tile throughout the home, Mexican carpet in the bedrooms, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 175 with a pool. Comes with its own palm trees in the back. I think there's a couple palm trees back there.
Comes with blue skies.
Blue skies, sunny weather, 360 days out of the year.
Yeah.
That's how it should be done. Should I sound like that guy today? Good morning. Welcome to the show. If you're a brand new listener, this is not how I talk. You have no idea that this isn't my real voice.
I really sound like this.
Right. I'm Batman. This is usually how I sound. Why don't you use me as your realtor?
Right.
Batman. All right. Let me see here. I'm going to my personal page here. Well, we have 2 viewers right now. I'm pretty sure that's you and I. So,
Well,
although I don't know if I'm viewing yet at this point, so we might have a legit viewer or 2. My name is Stephen Cotton. Jayson Bates is behind the scenes, or this way, and he's looking down at his computer, typing like this, because he's sharing. Because this is the part of the show where we share off to all of our other channels. So if you know anybody that you think might benefit from the show, you can share it, and maybe they'll watch it, and then we'll give you a high five, like that, air high five. So, you did it. You missed it. Jason did it too, but he wasn't on the screen, so I gave him an air high five. So it was a little awkward.
you just tell me and I do, man. That's how it works.
Just do it. Share to a page. Let's see. We're talking a little bit about this property. It's under 200K, and it has a pool, and it's in beautiful Arizona, where the sun shines on you 360 days out of the year. And if you're a little over 3,000 feet tall, then you probably got 365 days out of the year because you're above those clouds. The elusive clouds that come out once in a while. You know, I used to live in Washington, and I lived in Montana. And you ever see the show The Simpsons?
No, I've never seen that.
Heard about it? No, yeah, it's this cartoon. It's like, let me tell you a little bit about it. But at the beginning, it has like these blue skies with white clouds, and the clouds open up to the Simpsons. Does that sound familiar? Maybe that sounds.
I don't know, Bart. You tell me.
Forbidden donut.
Now, Bart, you listen to your father.
Right. Oh, I think you have. Yeah. Okay. Do we do that one where you say go crazy? Because it's like the scene from The Shining. All work and no play make Homer something. You say go crazy.
Go. I don't know. I'm not following here.
Okay, so on The Shining, it was all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. Remember Jack Nicholson?
Yeah.
All work and no play make Jack a dull boy, and he just typed it like 500 times. So it's like a Shining episode, and Homer's on the computer, and he's trying to figure it out, and then Marge gives him the go crazy part because she knows the movie. So he's like, but they're at the hotel, he's like, all work and no play make Homer something. And then Marge says...
Bart, you listen to your...
Yeah, do the go crazy part? Or you just half listening?
Go crazy, Bart.
Yeah. Well, then he says, don't mind if I do. And then he goes, cuckoo. But anyways, we have to work on that shtick. Good thing we're running out of time.
Timing is everything. I'm not the best actor, I guess.
Well, there's only one line, and it was go crazy.
Hint.
Yeah, right. It's pretty funny. Yeah, go crazy. We are making me go crazy. You're making me crazy.
Okay.
We're about ready to start this doodad. Let me look here. I got 22 minutes. Goodyear, Arizona homes. We're done sharing. I think I have one more share. I'm going to do Waddell Homes. This house is listed near the 101 and the 10. Right off of Indian School. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a pool for $175. Great tile. A lot of updating done in the last couple years. A brand new dishwasher, like within the last month. So that's even better than the AC is probably like 2 years old and stuff. But it's a beautiful house. So if you like this house, you can write a message or ask me, and I'll get you in there today or tomorrow. I got nothing better to do.
Nice. Nothing better to do.
All right, so I'm done with my sharing. I'm gonna log in here.
I got one more here to do, but we'll do it here hopefully real quick.
All right.
The Periscope folks here.
My name is Stefan. The guy you heard in the background is Marge Simpson. Sitting in for Jayson Bates today.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. And I'm going to have to, there it is, Periscope producer.
Oh, yeah,
Preview broadcast. Almost ready, guys. Almost ready. Promise. We're doing as best we can to get this out.
Get it out to all of our channels. I am turning down my my stuff here. Got my volume, so people that want to call me during the show, I won't answer. So don't do that. Oh, I got jokes. Throwback Thursday. Today we're going to be answering the lifelong questions. Well, what should I be asking my realtor? And what should I be asking my lender?
There we go.
And why does it hurt when I pee?
Easy.
It's two out of those three questions will be answered today.
There's children hosting the show.
All right, Marge. Don't mind if I do. Beer.
All right, let's do it, man. Let's do it here. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of 22 Minutes. I am Jayson Bates, bringing you the lender side of things, or lender's perspective on things. And then he, as you saw from the pre-show, is Stephen Cotton, and he's bringing us the realtor side of things for the show. And we together... Did you need to say something?
Oh, God. Yeah, I was going to say this is me looking like a cat here. Let's see there.
Oh, there you go. As he's doing right now, we hope to not only entertain you, but also bring you valuable content that you can use when you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance property. This show is about real estate. We talk about real estate. So if you're interested in real estate, then this is the show for you. If you want to reach out to the show, then you can definitely do so by any means necessary, really. You can tweet us right above, or tweet, or check out our YouTube channel, check out our Facebook page. And if you're at the Facebook page, hey, do us a favor. Give us a like. Doesn't take much effort. Just a little click away.
We're so close to 1,000. We're like 27 away.
Yeah, just a little click away. Just a click away. Hey, and if you are out there looking to buy, sell, or refinance property, the purpose of this show is to help you not be frustrated like this guy.
Dude, I thought you could do a kickflip.
I can. I did one this morning.
There you go. We don't want you to be frustrated. We want you to be happy. It's a big decision. It can be a stressful decision. And so hopefully this show will bring some content that will help alleviate some of that stress.
I can buy a house. I can.
I really can, man. I did it this morning. I could do it again.
This morning.
Hey, let's get to today's tweet quote of the day. We always have this tweet quote of the day as part of our inspirational segment of the show. So let's get to today's tweet quote of the day. There we go. Dramatic. Charles Hedges tweeted this out for us. Charles Hedges quote, actually. Looks like Bill Moore is the one who tweeted this out for us. But a dream is not something that you wake up from, but something that wakes you up. And I thought this was kind of cool because first-time home buyers, I know that feeling that a lot of people get when they're purchasing a home for the first time. They get the keys, they unlock that door, they walk into the home as their own home for the very first time, and it's quite an emotional experience, or can be quite an emotional experience. I remember when I first bought my home, it was something special, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you, anytime, we're business owners, you and I, we run our own business. We doing real estate. No one pays me to be here on the daily. No one pays me to go show them or wait for the calls to come in. I remember when I first started real estate, I didn't know anybody here, just my wife, and I always joke that she already had a house. And so when I moved down here, there was no opportunity for as far as sphere, but I had the dream, man. So it woke me up, and I was working 10, 12, 14-hour days some days, just trying to get my stuff started.
Yeah, it's a dream worth pursuing, no question about it. And when you get it, you definitely get a sense of euphoria. Even when I bought my second home, and I'll tell you a little personal story. Even when I bought this home that I'm in currently, after the recession depression, recession, whatever,
Right.
and then being able to purchase a home coming back from such a devastating economic event. And as everyone knows, real estate was really hit hard, Phoenix being really at the epicenter of that.
Right.
So, which kind of brings us full circle to today and our Throwback Thursday segment. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Let's do the little intro, and we'll come right back and we'll talk. Bring that full circle for everybody.
You nailed it the first time. It's a dead horse, and you keep beating it.
All right. All right. All right. So where I was going with that before I interrupted myself.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
Yeah, there you go. I should play that, right? There it is right there.
Myself to introduce myself.
Before coming full circle on that whole thing is when we had this whole economic thing happen here in Arizona, one of the biggest employers in the state was the Great Southwest Mortgage, which was a subsidiary of another company. I forget the name of the company. First Magnus, I think it was, which they were a number one employer here in Arizona, the number one employer. And then they imploded, right? And they're a mortgage lender. They were a mortgage lender here in Arizona. And so when they imploded, a lot of it just really went down very, very quickly. Those loan officers were scrambling for jobs. They were left without paychecks. There were people who signed their actual paperwork on a house, ready to pick up their keys, only to find out their deal was never going to fund. They were not going to get their keys. And so they were scrambling around. They were homeless. A lot of chaos going on. And so today's segment is all about the questions you should be asking your realtor and your loan officer to ensure that you're getting into something that you can feel confident about, that you know it's going to come to full circle and come to a conclusion for you. So we're not going to take questions. We're not going to throw questions that we get asked all the time. However, we're going to give you some questions that you should be asking your realtor and lender. Okay. So let's start off with, I'll start from the realtor's perspective. I think there's two separate sides of the realtor, right? So if you're selling your home, there's certain questions you're going to be asking, or if you're buying a home, there's going to be different set of questions you may be asking, right? Your realtor.
Right.
So
you want me to ask the number one question that somebody should ask their listing agent?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's hear it.
I think, well, there's more than one, but what is your sales list price to sales price ratio? Meaning, are you taking a listing at 320 knowing you're going to sell it for 290? Or
yeah, good question.
Because people will promise the world that to get the listing, and then they'll get you to lower down 30, 40K. When I'm more of a realist, I say, here's what it'll appraise for based on the three closings that are exactly like your model. You should get about 315 to 325 valuation,
Right.
The other realtor said I can get 350.
And this is something that's really hard to do. I mean, real estate is an emotional thing, right? It's an emotional decision. First of all, parting with your home, selling your home that you have a lot of memories in, can be a difficult decision in of itself. And then to kind of take yourself out of that emotion, to ask that question, which I think is a very, very good question, because there are too many realtors out there who tell people what they want to hear.
Right.
Or let the homeowner dictate what's going to be, what the sales price is going to be. And I think that comes from maybe some of the training maybe that realtors get, saying, hey, the consumer's always right kind of thing, or, not to argue with the consumer.
The listing. The rule number one is you go through that door, you get the listing. But that's the training behind the iron curtain. You go through the door, that your number one job is to get that listing as far as the realtors are concerned. But my thing is, what happens if it doesn't appraise at that, let's say that 350 mark that was promised or something, and then you have to just sell it to the regular price? Or maybe the listing agent thinks the house is worth 350 because they didn't do really good comparable. Like there's a house right across the street that's in a gated community on a golf course that sold for 350. So they're making promises that they think might even be legit, when in reality their home isn't worth that much.
Well, and the second part of that too is, okay, so an agent prices the home under value, and the appraisal comes in higher.
Right.
The flip side of that is, okay, do you tell? I just had this happen this week, as a matter of fact. Appraisal came in. It came in about $5,000 more than the sales price. And I'll tell you, from a lender's perspective on appraisers, they do not want to appraise it for more than the asking price. So
Right.
if they are appraising it even $5,000 above the asking price, there's got to be some overwhelming evidence to support that higher value, because they're conservative. We all know that. For him to go even $5,000 above sales price tells me that it's probably about $10,000
Right.
undervalued.
Yeah, they usually say add value or something. So
Right.
maybe even more than 10.
So as an agent, do you tell your listing agent, hey, appraisal came in, we sold your house under contract, your appraisal came in at $5,000 above sales price? My immediate reaction would be, well, then you just shorted me $5,000.
Right. No, first off, the buyer's agent doesn't need to disclose the amount. The buyer is the one that paid for the appraisal, so it's not part of the transaction,
Right.
unless it comes in lower. So on the buying side, as the buyer's agent, all I would say is your home came in at value.
Yeah,
Your home
that's
appraised.
right, and that's the thing that can be a tough conversation, because I'm sure a lot of sellers, you probably get it a lot. Hey, the appraisal come in, because that's one of the hurdles that a lot of people feel they have to overcome in order for a successful transaction, which it is. And so they'll ask you, hey, the appraisal come in,
Right.
you know.
So what's a question I should ask you as a lender? What question should I ask a lender? I have a question that I should always ask a lender.
Ask it.
Why is your rate different than the other person's rate?
Good question. So, this is how I answer that question to all my buyers or clients, and that is, rate is just an interpretation of risk to a degree. There are certain margins that need to be met in order to keep my doors open, and for the most part, our rates are going to be pretty equal across the board. But as an example, banks have different means of income. They have checking accounts, they have ATM cards, fees, that sort of thing. They have auto loans, they have plane loans, train loans, business loans. They have all sorts of different avenues of revenue coming in. Where myself, I've only got the loans. That's it. I got basically one source of revenue. So the reason I point this out is because sometimes, in order to satisfy shareholders, market shareholders for banks, they'll cut below market value on their rates on the mortgages to increase volume for their stockholders and shareholders. And then as the volume comes in, they get overwhelmed, and then they raise their rates to then subside or push back on some of that, which then causes this funnel effect that causes a lot of delays in your closing, because they're not properly staffed for that sort of stuff, which then, that's the word on the street. Banks, you're a number. They don't care about you. Listen to what he has to say.
Right.
But from another perspective, though, there are other things that affect interest rate. Greed, quite simply. Some companies are more greedy than others. I see that with loan officers. Some loan officers are more greedy than others. They charge more fees. It's the way it is. But for the most part, the interest rate is set by Fannie Mae, and with the adjustments to, they call them loan level pricing adjustments, LLPAs. So those things are pretty much set by Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and then there are margins set within the company to meet those expectations. The other thing too that affects rates that a lot of people don't know is the warehouse lines. Warehouse lines, when we fund loans, we're getting charged an interest rate. It's like having a credit card for mortgages, if you will. And so we have this huge credit card, say $3 million, $5 million. We may have 4 or 5 of them, and we put loans on them, and then we sell them off, or we securitize them on the secondary market, which then frees that money back up. Well, for the 10 days that loan sits on that warehouse line, we're being charged interest on that. And so we have to cover that expense as well. And so some companies with their portfolio, that warehouse line interest rate may be higher than other companies. Therefore, that margin needs to be adjusted, and therefore affecting their interest rate. The other thing too that can affect it is compensation of loan officers. Some loan officers, like I said, want high compensation for their license being on the line and the risk that they're taking and lending a stranger money, essentially. And as a result, the interest rate to the consumer can be affected. So I know it's kind of a long-winded answer, but that's...
Well, I mean, so to like, not to dumb down, but to get to my level of understanding, rates are different because different lenders charge a different amount, so they can get paid more or less. And also, there's a holding cost associated with doing a loan, as well as the commercial side that has the checking account can lower it and raise it depending on how staffed they are or how much they need to look like they're making money for their stockholders.
And really, at the real core of it is interpretation of risk. Some lenders will dig deep on credit on FICO scores, but in exchange for digging deep on credit scores, they'll raise their margins, kind of like an overlay, if you will, to things. Okay,
your turn. What do you got for me? What kind of questions do you have for you as a lender that you think people should ask?
Well, okay, so from to a realtor, when you ask your realtor, I would ask, what's your experience? What's your experience? And I'm thinking this from the selling side and the buyer side, because experience counts on both sides. So what is your experience in listing homes in this neighborhood, as an example? And what is your experience in helping me as a first-time home buyer?
Okay, so I can answer that question as a resume question, but I'll tell you the experience part with the neighborhoods. I always say it's very specific per neighborhood. You know, some people farm, so they might have like 3 or 5 listings or something that year in that neighborhood. I do a lot of fix and flip houses, so I run comparables and comps on every neighborhood pretty much throughout a month. I cycle through, I think, most of the neighborhoods in the valley. So I have a good idea of the numbers and what they're going for over there, but it always comes down to what I do for marketing. So I can market this neighborhood and I can get you on the tour, whatever the neighborhood tour is. And I can get you like the other 10 listing agents that are in that area too, to come through there with their people. I'm trying to like figure out the politically correct way to answer this. But when I ask that question, what's your experience here? I've been doing this thing for 7 years. You know, I show them, there's this app called Home Snap app. I show them exactly how many houses I've listed in the last 24 months and how many houses I've purchased with the buying side too. And it's about even. I think I did about 93 in the last 12 months or 24 months. So it's about 4 a month. So 2 for the listing, 2 for the buy pretty much is what it shows on my resume for the last 2 years as a snapshot. And what do I do for the buyer side? Well, we have a whole team of people. We have a lender that we trust. We have a title company that we trust, and we have home inspectors and stuff that do a really good job, and they take care of the clients. And then we also do a $300 credit on the buy side and the list side for Binzer repairs. So if you're getting a listing, if we do a listing with you, we'll take care of the first $300 on that inspection report. And then if you're a buyer, if the sellers aren't fixing it, then we'll throw $300 towards fixing that stuff. And then we deliver pizza on the move a day. We find out what day you're moving on Thursday, we give you a pizza. So whoever you got to help you move those big stuff will get fed.
Yeah, and that's probably the better worded question would be, how are you going to best represent me? Oh, yeah. I guess is probably the more precise question you should be asking, because there are realtors out there who don't have a lot of experience, maybe only have 6 months worth of experience, but they have a good understanding of the market or what your specific needs may be. I call those realtors ignorance on fire, right? Sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and so you're more willing to explore different avenues of marketing and other aspects to help get your property sold or help get your offer accepted. So ignorance on fire. It's not always about, hey, I got 30 years of experience. Sometimes that can get in the way of people. Right. Sometimes, I guess, not always.
For example, I had this lady that didn't want to move until March or something. Actually till October, but she found the house that she wanted in July. And so what we did is we put the perfect house. So we put $12,000 down earnest and released $2,000 a month for the seller for living expenses, because we didn't want them to sell it to someone else. But that $12,000, out of that $12,000, they were living, and then we closed on the time that our client could close, and everybody won one. Not a lot of agents would have thought to do that.
Yeah, no, out of the box thinking. And that could be a question too. What kind of out of the box strategies would you have to help my offer get accepted, or help sell my home? That might be a question you might want to ask your realtor. As far as a lender goes, of course, all the major, kind of questions. What's the interest rate? How much is the down payment? Do I pay MI? What kind of program is it? Explain the program to me. All those sort of questions. And I encourage people to ask me all the questions. No question is silly when it comes to the loan. This is a big, big deal. It is a big deal. And you're the one going to be paying on it, not me. So you need to make sure that you're totally comfortable with it.
After you get the appraisal in, what's your typical, and the whole file is pretty much done.
Mm-hmm.
How soon can you close? Or, because that's the other question. Can you close in 30 days? Can you close in 21 days? Can you close in 40 days? What's your average close time?
And that depends on lenders, right? And we kind of alluded to what banks do. They, adjust things, and they get a flow of a lot of people, and you have kind of perfect storms. If rates dipped, you have a lot of people applying, and that can clog the system. Excuse me there. So that's a tough one to answer. However, I can tell you, I've got 2 deals with you right now, and they're supposed to close in April, and they're both ready to go right now. So it depends on the company.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, beer goggles. So it depends on the motivation of the client, because some clients don't get me the documentation in time. That can delay things. If the appraisal comes in low and you have to go back and renegotiate sales price, that can delay things. The BINSA report, as you mentioned, there's repairs, that can delay things. So in a perfect world, 21 days is probably the average for me, turn time. But with other variables in there, 30-day close of escrow is pretty standard.
So we write like 30 days with both parties' approval. We can close earlier.
Yeah.
Who can get a loan done this month? Ready?
There you go. I remember not too long ago when we had the TRID stuff come out, right? Everybody was saying close of escrows are going to be 45 days. 45 days. Yep. And I said, well, wait a minute here. No, it's not going to be 45 days. It's still going to be 30 days. It's just going to be 30 days. And I got a lot of pushback. I got to be honest. I did a podcast on that, and I got a lot of comments on iTunes for that. No way, it's not going to happen. And a lot of brokers who were preaching to their agents that it's going to do 45 days. You need to write the contract on 45 days or more, potentially.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I never saw it.
Right.
I never saw 45 days.
I think 33 days.
Yeah.
And then DPA sometimes takes a little more.
Yeah. Exactly. Now USDA, that can take a little bit longer. 203Ks, those can take a little bit longer because there's different aspects to those loans. But for the most part, it's 30 days or less, which is pretty standard. Although in other parts of the country, it can be longer because of the appraisal. Appraisal can be 3 weeks in of itself.
Right.
So
because there's a lack of appraisers.
Yeah. Which that's a whole nother subject. But so I would also ask your lender, what's your experience? How creative? How out of the box are you? Is your underwriting in house? Do you self-service your loans? How creative are you? What experiences have you had with my situation? How do you interpret credit? That sort of thing. So those kind of questions.
Yeah.
It's an exposure. Definitely. I understand that from a consumer standpoint. You're exposing your financial picture to somebody. That's not always the most pleasant feeling. You feel a little vulnerable right there, and feel like you could be judged. Not here to judge you at all. I've seen it all. It doesn't really matter. There's nothing about your character that I see on your credit report, although some underwriters do argue that.
Yeah, they try to what's that? Investigate.
Yeah, forensic little investigation through the credit report to try to tell your personality. Life happens. We all get that. All right, cool. That pretty much does it for today. Hopefully that gave you some empowerment, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask questions to us. Don't be afraid to interview us. In fact, like I said earlier, I encourage it. Please do interview me, because that tells me that you're interested. Number one. Number two, that you care. And number three, it really gives me the opportunity to separate myself from my competitors, because I'm very confident in what I've done and what I've accomplished in my career. So I'll put those credentials up against anybody. That's for sure.
I agree 100%. If you don't ask, you're not going to know. And if you're too afraid to ask, then the only way you can improve your situation is by asking the questions or getting a little uncomfortable by interviewing for the right person for the job.
Yeah, Absolutely. It's got to be the right person and the right team. And we hope that you pick us. That's one of the purposes of this show, right? To educate you and help you be a better consumer when it comes to real estate. The whole purpose of the show, there was not a lot of resource out there when it comes to real estate. So we want to be your resource. Yeah, we want to be your resource, especially here in Phoenix, Arizona. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance property, please reach out to us. Any way that you feel comfortable, social media, old-fashioned way, phone call, any way that you'd like, we would love to hear from you. So please do that. We do this show Monday through Friday, so please join us at 9 a.m. Arizona time, which is Pacific Standard Time now. We don't change time zones. And March Madness is underway, brother.
Started like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it started 5 minutes ago. All right, well, that's going to conclude today's episode. Please write your comments below, share with your friends and family. And until tomorrow's Feature Friday, Reflection Friday, we're going to talk about those things. So please join us. Until then, everyone have a great day.